Okay, like I said before, grade 7 was the year that I had my bout of depression and it was kind of messed up. But, um, it started out, and I had the same idea that everyone hated me and that I was a horrible person. Well, not really that I was a horrible person, but I lived in a horrible place and that the world was just stupid and it should be destroyed. And why the heck was I here? Was it just so that people would have someone to torture? And just I had a really, really bad idea of what the world was because I'd gone from being a very naive kid to being put in a situation where I was the number one target for bullying. And in grade 7, like I said, there was the depression, and so I was even more withdrawn than before, which I didn't think was possible. But like I would come home and I would say hi to my parents and I'd grab a snack and I'd go to my room. And I wouldn't come out until supper time. And I can't actually remember anything that I did in my room. I think most of the time I just laid on my bed and did nothing. And I had thoughts of my in my running through my head that were just like, I hate everything. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to run away. I hate life. I hate my school. I hate my peers. I hate my teachers. I don't want to be here. I hate it. And it was very scary now that I think back onto it. But at that point, it was just, I didn't notice it. It was just who I was. And because of being depressed, I just, whatever, that sort of thing. Like, I can't remember feeling any emotion that year either, except for hate and depression. And sadness quite a bit. I was really sad. And, I had a couple teachers pull me aside and they wondered what was wrong, and I kind of bit their heads off and told them nothing was wrong and to stay out of my life, that sort of thing. And I kind of feel bad for that now because they were just trying to help and they were worried for some reason. And it was very odd. Like, I can't remember that much of that year, but I can remember that I got into a couple fights, and that was the year that was my last year of grade 7 or the elementary. And so we had the grade 7 grad at the end, and it was, in some ways, I think I was kind of shocked that I was leaving the elementary, which was all I knew. Like, that was my life. I spent 6 hours of the day there, and then I dwelled on those 6 hours and how horrible they were when I got home for the 4 or 5, maybe 6 hours that I was up again. And it was really weird because I was intimidated, I guess, of my fellow classmates because of I was leaving the elementary, and it's just really hard to explain, I guess. But I was scared to be leaving everything that I knew, which I think is kind of a normal thing. But I'm not used to being scared, so it was a very a scary time, I guess you could say, for me. And so I was not at all happy with that. And what else? It was just like that year's such a blur. I can't remember almost anything. It was just hate, 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 destroy, hate, hate, sadness, almost cry. What the heck am I doing? Bottle it up, ignore it, bury it down as deep as it can get, and just leave it. And then my dad really got me started on cutting wood because I would have these random explosions where someone would ask me to do something just like normal, like unload the dishwasher or to clean up the living room a little bit if we had company coming, or to do a load of laundry because I needed clean clothes. And I would bite their heads off, and I would start screaming and yelling at them, and just like I'd get red in the face to the point of it looked really funny. And I would be so mad at them, but I didn't know why. And like all this anger that I had bottled up for since about grade 2, because I wouldn't show any emotion, just it would come pouring out, and it would be directed at them even though they'd done nothing wrong. And I think it was a hard year for them as well, because they didn't know what the heck was going on with me, and I didn't know what the heck was going on with me. So when they asked me for answers, I got really mad at them again, because I didn't know what to say, because I didn't know what was going on. I did not know who I was anymore. Like, my whole idea of who I was going to change next year, because I was going into high school. And suddenly, life's not as easy as you stay in one classroom all day. Your teacher gives you your work, you've got your little cubby, and you go out for your recess and your lunch. Suddenly it was going to be that I had to find my way around a high school of 400 kids, I think it is. It's kind of small school. And it was a scary thought that I was going to have to leave everything that I knew, as much as I hated it. Like, I hate that elementary. I still don't like it, even though I don't go there anymore. It was just really hard, I guess, because what I knew to be life was ending, and that might, I think, have added to the depression as well. As just, I think I finally reached the end of my string, and it just happened to end in depression. And so I was depressed all year, and then just before the graduation, at least that's what they called it, it was just like this little ceremony where the grade 7s would sit at the front of the gym, which is where we had our assembly, and there would be this big formal assembly, and you'd get to watch a PowerPoint presentation that some of the grade 7s had put together about the year there, and you'd have the valedictorians from the two classes, or there'd be two valedictorians, one from each class, and they'd work on a speech together, and then they had this little certificate that was rolled up, and it had a picture of all the grade 7s on it, and just saying, congratulations, you finished grade 7, and that sort of thing. And so I was kind of scared of that, I think, as well, because it was a formal thing. So I was going to be wearing a dress, and that's the first time I'd worn a dress in, I think, 4 years. And it was not something that I really wanted my classmates to see me in, because it's not exactly who I was. Like, I went to school in jeans and a t-shirt pretty much all the time, and I was always wearing hoodies like I am right now. It's just, I was very casually dressed normally, and so the idea of getting into something like a dress and going to school in it was very intimidating. But I did it, and so did a bunch of other kids. I think everyone wore something very formal. Sorry. And it was really weird. I know I've said that a lot, but like the whole year was just a blur. I can't really remember anything from it. Like, it was just one big pile of emotion that either buried down deep or came exploding out through the top, and I was an absolute wreck that year. But I got a hold of myself in the summer, and it was very helpful, I guess, because in some ways I'm glad that year happened, because I can deal with depression now, I think, and it will probably be a very helpful tool later when I end up moving out or whatever, and I have some fears and that sort of thing about it. But yeah, that was grade 7. It was a really weird year, very emotional in a very unemotional way. I know that totally contradicts itself. That's the only way I can think of explaining it. And it was just really different. So I was not exactly used to that. But yeah, I'm kind of going over time, so I'll stop here. So I might continue in another video.